Everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Laura Nervonis, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So welcome to my weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. It is a really fun time for me to just share with you something that I've been working on or a fun little technique that I would like to explain so that you're not looking at a card that I've posted and kind of wonder how that's happening. So the premise of this week's video, and I would like to begin by saying I'm sorry I'm not live today. You can obviously tell this is a recording because it was just posted rather than me going live, but as we speak and as you're watching, I will be on a field trip with one of my little kiddos. And of course, I never want to miss out on our regular scheduled time. So I have recorded this. So let me share with you a really exciting project today because of the fact that it is a sneak peek of a suite that will be released March 1st. So Stampin' Up! Has decided to start offering what they're calling online exclusives. So what you'll notice is if you go to my website on March 1st, there will be a banner across the top that says online exclusives. And when you click on it, there's going to be a bunch of items that are actually not in any catalog print. You won't be able to find them in your catalog, in the annual one or the mini one or anything like that. They're items that Stampin' Up! Has decided they're just going to offer online. But the fun thing about that is just like our kids collection, which is online, once things kind of sell out and go on back order, there will be time for Stampin' Up! To reorder a lot of those popular items. So instead of them just disappearing, like sometimes we have items from the catalog just because Stampin' Up! Can't get them in time for before the catalog ends, these items will come back again once they're restocked. So that's not to say everything will be restocked all the time. It's probably more just the very popular things that if something sells out within a week, and even if the item number is turned off and you see it's unavailable, it will come back. So it's really fun and exciting. So again, these start March 1st, so you won't be able to have them in your hands at the moment to craft with me, but I hope that you can come back and watch this video then. So let me just show you. These are the online exclusive little flyers. So at times you might see a QR code that you're able to scan. The easiest place, of course, is just to come to my website, or if you're not in Canada, of course, just go to your own demonstrator's website and see what is available for you guys. So here's the full flyer of what I was allowed to pre-order. I know it's very challenging to see it, but I have it to show you. So the Hello Irresistible suite is kind of the main focus. There is a Irresistible Bloom stamp set and the Irresistible dies. So here's the Irresistible Bloom stamp set. I love this font. It is so me and I love it. And I like when they combine two different fonts in a sentiment too. So it's just a very beautiful set that I can't wait to start like embossing these flowers and playing with them. So watch for another video about that soon because they're gorgeous. The dies are very fun. They cut out some of those leaves and the flowers along with a few fun, funky little accessories. So I just got, I guess you're watching this Tuesday, I got this stuff yesterday, according to you guys, and made this for today's video because I wanted to share it with you. This is the Irresistible Blooms paper, or it's called Hello Irresistible, sorry. Where did I put it? Oh, it's in your screen frame. Here you go. So some of these papers coordinate with our dies, and that is what I used on today's project for my flowers and my leaves. And then of course, some of them just have really fun patterns and kind of like blended technique. And quite a few of them there. So lots of just delicate backgrounds, lots and lots of fun in there. course, they're all double-sided. There are 4 of each of these 6x6 sheets in the package. And then these fun little dots here. Okay, so don't let this deceive you. They are called loose frosted dots. So they're not like on a sheet. They are literally loose, but they're amazing and gorgeous. Look at that shimmer and shine. There's like a metallic backing on them. So as long as you've got some glue, as long as you've maybe decided to turn these into a shaker card or to use them as an embellishment with the dotted glue, you'll be fine. They're gorgeous. I just want to tell you that so you don't get shocked. Okay, and then there is a couple things that I didn't use on the project here because they're not part of the suite, but I did get them, so I'll show them. This is the Naturally Gilded Specialty Designer Series paper. So it's got a gorgeous kind of like bronze, silver, and gold backing, and the other side is white, so that's kind of not typical of some of our papers lately, but of course you're going to be using this as your focus anyways, so then you don't have to cry and decide on which side you love or not. So you get you would get 6 sheets, so 2 of each of the 3 colors in your package there. And then there are this basic 3D embossing folder set. So that photo is very hard to see, but here we go. Let's just open these up for you because they're really cute. Might as well look at them. Okay, this one looks kind of like some little like stars almost in there, like flowers and stars hiding in there, and like a little geometric pattern. Ooh, this one's nice. That would be a perfect like subtle background folder. I guess that's why these are called basics. And then dots. Dots are great. Easy to use, very fun. So this is a trio that you can purchase for $41. So that's kind of fun. Get all 3 of them at the same time. And then the one thing that I didn't order was this classic letters stamp set. It is adorable, but I was picking and choosing what I wanted to purchase and play with. So I might have it in the future to show off for you guys, but I don't have it today, and that's okay. So I don't know. There might be more stuff on March 1st. There hasn't been any announcements of like how often they're adding things to the selection or any other information about that. But from what I know, these were the items that we as demonstrators were allowed to order a month early so that we could share them with you. And then I don't know if we'll get the chance to like pre-order everything that gets added, or if sometimes things will just get added and it'll be just a surprise. You wake up and there's more stuff. So I'll have more information on these online exclusives kind of later, but why don't we do a little crafting? So yeah, I guess today you get to just sit back and enjoy. If you watch my weekly videos, then you might recognize this kind of fold. I did it on a video a couple weeks ago with this card here, and this card, I called it the floating panel card. I think that's what it's called. It featured some of our celebration paper because, of course, just a reminder that as of February 28th, celebration will be done. So every $60 you spend, you can get freebies right now, and that $60 is Canadian. So again, just a reminder, if you're somewhere else, just ask your demonstrator for the conversion. It's a great time to stock up on things like cardstock, adhesives, paper pumpkin subscriptions if you are in North America, because you get free stuff for those purchases right now. If you order dimensionals next month, they don't really count for much. So get those freebies while you can. And if you have this paper, if you got it already, you can go back and just copy the video or use these same measurements for this card here. Okay, so that one's happened in the past. But for today, if you would like to come back and follow along, we're going to start with a piece of Flirty Flamingo cardstock. So this cardstock measures 4 1/4 by 11. And we're going to need a stamping trimmer to do a bit of cutting, we're going to do that together. So let me move this out of the way and let me get my Stampin' Trimmer. Okay, so if you can put your paper so that the 11-inch side is across the top, that is where we're going to do our cutting work right now. So let me get this into view. Okay, so I'm going to just slide my paper in, and I would like to line it up to the 1.5. So I had somebody ask the brilliant question the other day. They're like, this isn't like a ruler, you know, where you go from 1 to 12, left to right. It's actually reverse, and I think I took that for granted. So let me just share that our stamping trimmer goes from like 1 on the right side over. So if I would like to measure 1.5, I first find the 1, and then I find the 1/2-inch mark, okay? So it's kind of actually between the 1, which I've covered now, and the 2. So 1.5 is what we would like. We're going to cut, okay? We're cutting at 1.5. So this piece, you need to keep it, just set it to the side, right? So take what you have left now. Still this long side is what we're working with on the top. We're going to line it up to 2.5. So find the 2 and then move over to the 1/2-inch mark. 2.5. Now take this cutting blade, get it out of your way. I am always so tempted to just keep cutting and chopping, but that's why sometimes I like take it off if I'm now scoring, because I don't want to make a mistake. We're going to need to put a score line, which is this light gray, okay? So I'm once again lining my long side up against the top. 1.5. So find the 1.5. Make sure you're using the scoring blade right now. Go back and forth just a couple times to give yourself a nice groove. Now these pink pieces, Flirty Flamingo I should say, and just get set aside for the moment. We're going to do a little bit of work for inside of our card, because we always like to have something to write on, but it's kind of fun in this card. You can actually see part of that back panel. So you don't want just a white piece. We're going to do a little bit of stamping. So I'm using the largest flower stamp in this, and I'm going to grab myself a piece of white, which measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. Now I've chosen, because I'm using Flirty Flamingo on my card, I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo for my ink as well. But of course you could go kind of polar opposite and use like something green or whatnot, or even yellow, to really make these, pardon me, stand out. So I'm just decorating basically like the corners of my card. So I'm going from top right to bottom left. You could do opposite as well. It's completely up to you, but you don't want to take over the whole space because you want somewhere to write on, but you also want that flower showing through, okay? So close this up. Notorious for getting inky with anything red or pink. Get that out of your way. And then this piece can be attached to your card base. Okay, so this guy is our card base, and you can see she fits so perfectly right in there. So I love my double-sided tape, but you guys know you're welcome to use glue, use seal, whatever you prefer. I've buried my tape, unfortunately, as I was showing you all of the papers. There we go. So I'm just going to turn this over. Like the tape, it's easy. Just rip it. We're good to go. Okay, now this could be also a space where if you wanted to, you could put a sentiment on the inside. There are like couldn't be happier to have you as my friend. Would go quite nicely with the one that I've chose, I like you. But you can also leave it blank if you want to write your own little note. So just an option. I'm leaving my blank because I like to write notes and I need as much space as possible. All right, now this little panel here on the left-hand side, we're going to fold over and it's going to become the first part of our card front. Now I'm going to lay out these pieces just so you can imagine them in your head. So we've got that piece that we're folding over. We have small scrap number 1. That's going to actually be this right-hand side. That. And then we have this piece right here, which is going to be our little bridge or our floating panel, if you will. Okay, so to decorate, we need some designer paper. You can either choose to use all 3 the same, or my suggestion was having 2 side panels the same, and then this middle one can be either the back side of that or something completely different. It's completely up to you. So these 2 side panels, you need 2 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 4 inches. And they're going to get attached. Remember, that guy's not attached right now, but they are going to get attached inside these 2 ink rectangles. So you can go ahead and do that. These are all papers from the Hello Irresistible Designer Series package, just because I really wanted to get into it to play around those colors. Oh, there's 1. Here's 2. All right, so let's just imagine those 2 would go like so. Decorate this middle panel here, or you can attach it first. It's completely up to you. I think maybe I'm just going to show you how to attach it because it's quite simple to decorate once it's in place. So this pink panel we're using to bridge over these 2 pieces. So what I need to do is add dimensionals to the sides of this piece. If I was to add them to the middle, right in here, it would close my card up and then it would kind of defeat the purpose. So let me just show you my dimensional sheet here. I like to use some of these edge pieces on the mini dimensionals because they're nice and long. Like, you can use large dimensionals, but look, this is just a perfect rectangle of dimension, and like 3 of them on the left, on the right should do. Two. Now, because we haven't decorated this, it doesn't matter which side we start with. So pick one side and take the dimensionals off of that side. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I still have this piece lined up exactly where I'd want it to be, and that's using the border underneath of the Flirty Flamingo. Okay, so it's resting right on top. And now it's your choice kind of how you position this. So on my sample at the top, I've positioned this right in the middle of my card. But if you go back to this one a couple weeks ago, you'll notice it's actually in kind of the top third of the card. I wanted to show more of the flower at the bottom. So depending on if you're replicating this card or kind of designing your own, you might make those choices differently. Okay, but we're just kind of gonna eyeball where we want this, and I'm kind of happy, like halfway on the card, I think. Okay, so I've attached my one side. And now, of course, this other side is still loose, but because it's easier to attach one at a time, I'm going to just restart. Make sure this guy's in position on the right-hand side, this piece. Then you can just close this piece down over top. Go. So, hey, you can decorate. I wanted to choose another piece of designer paper. Here we go. This one I chose because I really like the splatter kind of look on it. It's that soft sea foam color with that splattery look on the designer paper. Or I could have turned it over and had really cute leaves. So for this card, I want a sentiment. So I'm going to stamp that first. I go back, sorry, I'm going back and forth. This one here, I did a label, so it doesn't matter. I can do that after the paper's on. But I would like this sentiment. It says, I like you. I figured, you know, for the month of February, the love month, the caring month, we'll just continue with this. I like you. And I'm using Memento Black. I figured something that could go with all the colors I'm using and not really get in the way of my design there. So I like you is right up in the top. If I had decided perhaps that I'd like thank you or hooray, it's your day, I probably would have then just done one flower and used this space on the right-hand side for my sentiment. I could also fit hello quite easily in place of this I like you sentiment. So just a couple options for you if you're thinking, hey, I actually would like something different than what you put, then maybe you're just going to do one flower as opposed to the two that I chose here. Okay, so this guy I'm putting on flat because I'm going to pop my flowers up already on dimensionals, but it's up to you because really only got one layer of dimension so far. No, and it should fit right inside here. If I didn't give you the measurement for this, it is 2.25 by 4. So this piece of designer paper is 2.25 by 4 inches. Will fit right inside. And you know, if I ever do forget to give you the measurements, they are always listed in my video description. So you can always go back and look at the supply list and at the measurements, just in case I ever forget. Okay, now I need some flowers. So I wanted to show you how easy it was to cut those out of the designer paper. So I'm going to move this and grab my cut and emboss machine. There we go. And have my two pieces of patterned designer paper that I'm going to use. So it doesn't matter whether you do the flowers or leaves first. And you can see I've already gotten a large and a small and a large and a small out of this. So I'm going to be able to finish off this third and final card from this sheet using this guy here. And Irresistible Blooms. Here we go. I'll hold it up for you. Let me do this, okay? So this will go. I have to kind of flip it a little sometimes. There we go. It's better. That will go nicely around flower number 1 and nicely around flower number 2. Okay, and then I'm going to put my other plate on top and roll these through. So then when they come out, you should have two beautiful flowers, large and a small one. And then we need some leaves. This sheet of leaves is great. There's more than enough. to do the 3 cards that I did with flowers. You could even use some of these with flowers that you've stamped. So we have 2 dies. We have the 3 leaf and the 2 leaf that of course I'll have to place a little bit more, but lots and lots of leaves out of this sheet. And there's 4 of these sheets in the package, so I'm set. And have them too close together, otherwise they bump. And 2. Don't want to lose these. So put them. Sorry. There you go. Okay, let's continue. I'm ready to start decorating here. So my first step is going to be my flowers. I'm going to pop both of them up on dimensionals, and they will take over pretty much all of this space here down at the bottom. It's okay, so I always like starting with my largest flower, and that would be the flower that I would choose if I was only using one flower personally. But that can kind of go right by the swirl on your eye. And then this little one, it actually can kind of just overlap the tiniest little bit. Okay, and then for your leaves, completely up to you how you add them. You can either put a little glue dot under and they'll be flat, or I like to just put a dimensional under the edge and leave the edges of my leaf loose so that they'll kind of come off the page no problem and not be in anyone's way. I'm just going to tuck my 3 leaf up in the top here, and my 2 going down in the bottom. So this is pretty all on its own, but hey, we have our loose flower or frosted dots, so let's add some of those. My suggestion is to use the Tombow liquid glue and just add teeny tiny dots to your project like that. I am going to make these different, so here we go. Let's try a large pink and a medium blue. And if you're having trouble with these, we do have that putty end on the take your pick tool. Should have grabbed it to show you, but it's okay. I have fingernails. They will help. There we go. Just something fun to decorate. Those little centers could also be flower centers if you wanted to. They would look really cute. So completely up to you on that regard. But there we go. There are our 2 little cards made from our new suite that comes out March 1st. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have questions, just let me know. Again, just because this one's a recording, I won't be able to answer them live for you, but I definitely will get back to you. And if you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate if you like and subscribe to my channel, because then I can show you more fun projects. And if you're in Canada, maybe sign up for my monthly club, because we're going to be playing with this suite for one of our projects as well. So those kits are $15 or free with a $35 order, and shipping is usually $2 to $3 depending on what I plan for the month. So I can do that anywhere in Canada, and then you just get a little video tutorial kind of like this to assemble your projects. I will see you guys next Tuesday for another edition of Show Me How It's Done. Bye!